Pulp Fiction is one of the most popular and critically acclaimed movies of all time, and there's a lot of throwbacks to classic movies spread throughout the film. Here's the top 9 movie references in Pulp Fiction.
I'm on the intercom.
Where is the intercom?
Number 9 goes to this scene where Vincent and Mia are driving in a 1960s red Chevy. This reference is actually directed right at John Travolta, as a much younger Travolta appeared in the 1976 horror film Carrie, also driving his date around in a 1960s red Chevy.
Yeah, that's what you like about me, right? I know that.
Vincent crashes and damages the car in Pulp Fiction, and in Carrie, well, it also gets damaged. Number 8 goes to the famous dance scene between Mia and Vincent. The way this scene was shot, and some of these dance moves, mirrors a scene from the 1963 Italian film 8½. You can see the similarities here. Mia even looks kinda similar to the Italian actress in this dance scene. Number 7. As the dance scene is ending, the screen fades out and then fades back in to a shot of Mia and Vincent walking home. The two then share a brief moment of dancing. So this one isn't as apparent as the other ones, but the way the scene transition is structured goes all the way back to the 1946 Christmas film, It's a Wonderful Life. In this movie, there's a high school dance scene where George and Mary also become the spotlight. As the scene ends, we get the fade out, the fade in, and as the two are walking home, they instead share a brief moment of singing like two lovebirds.
Dance by the light of the moon.
Number 6 goes to one of the opening scenes with Jules and Vincent right before they retrieve the briefcase. They enter an apartment building, we get the elevator up, and then a 1.5-minute long take of Jules and Vincent walking down the corridors as a camera follows in front of them. This long take references one of the opening scenes in the 1965 French film Alphaville. Similarly, we get the elevator up, and a 1-minute long take of these two characters walking down the hallways of a hotel. Notice how in both films we have the same dark, dingy hallways, and the camera continues to follow the characters around the corners until they reach their destination. Number 5 goes to the scene where Butch encounters Vincent coming out of the washroom. Right before Butch fires the gun, the camera quickly switches to the pastries popping out of the toaster. Watch closely. This quick shot of the toaster popping adds to the surprise and shock factor of Butch actually shooting down and killing Vincent. This scene is a reference to the 1967 film The Graduate, which features a young Dustin Hoffman as he's delivering the shocking news to his parents that the girl he's about to marry doesn't know about the marriage and doesn't even like him.
To be perfectly honest, she doesn't like me.
The toast popping out at that moment adds to the shock value from his parents' point of view, and you can even see his mother getting startled by it. Number 4 goes to the opening scene of the movie where Ringo is trying to convince Yolanda to rob the restaurant that they're eating at.
Nobody ever robs restaurants. Why not?
This scene is a reference to one of the opening scenes in the 1967 film Bonnie and Clyde, based on the real-life partners in crime who traveled throughout central United States in the 1930s, robbing and killing people. In this opening scene, which also takes place in a restaurant, Clyde is trying to convince Bonnie to take up a life of crime with him.
So then you got your job in a cafe, and now you wake up every morning you hate it. You think, now when and how am I ever going to get away from this?
Notice how in both scenes we get a low-angle shot of the waitress smiling at our two criminals. And by the end of both scenes, both our females are convinced and we get that intrigued, satisfied look of mischief. Number 3 goes to the interrogation scene at the beginning of the movie. Jules and Vincent are sent by their boss Marcellus Wallace to retrieve a stolen, mysterious briefcase. They let themselves in.
Hey kid,
And during the interrogation, Jules begins to eat Brett's food.
This is a tasty burger.
And later shoots him dead. This scene is a reference to one of the opening scenes in the 1966 film The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where Angel Eyes enters Stevens' home uninvited and begins interrogating him.
I can tell Baker what happened to the money. Go back and tell him that.
Word's around you had a visitor.
Angel Eyes is sent by his boss Baker to find out the name of a fugitive whom Stevens was in contact with. We see Angel Eyes eating Stevens' food. And after he gets the name he's looking for,
Carson. Bill Carson.
He also shoots him dead. Number 2 goes to this scene where Butch, after having double-crossed Marcellus by winning the fight, encounters him while stopped at the light. Marcellus does a double take after realizing who it actually is, and Butch runs him over in an attempt to kill him. This scene is a reference to the 1960 horror film Psycho, where Marion Crane, a real estate secretary, receives orders from her boss to deposit a $40,000 cash payment that a client dropped off. She tells her boss that she has a headache and wants to take the rest of the afternoon off, but she instead decides to steal the money by making an unplanned trip out of town. As she stopped at a light, her boss walks by and sees her. He at first smiles at her, but after realizing that she's supposed to be resting at home, does a double take, giving her a suspicious, dissatisfied look. Marion doesn't try to run him over, but it does make her very nervous. And number 1 has to go to the mysterious glowing briefcase that is seen throughout the film. Whenever a character looks into it, we get that transfixed, dumbfounded look on their face as the briefcase shines brightly on it. This plot device is actually a reference to the 1955 film noir, Kiss Me Deadly, which also features a mysterious glowing box that forms the center of the plot. We first see the box being opened briefly here, which leaves a burn on our protagonist's wrist. Towards the end of the film, the character Gabrielle opens the box even after having been told not to. We get that mysterious glow on her face, and it later causes the house to blow up, revealing the box to contain some sort of apocalyptic, radionuclide material. In Pulp Fiction, the contents of the briefcase are never revealed. Some claim that, like in Kiss Me Deadly, it contains radioactive material. Some claim that it's actual diamonds, and even some have claimed that it contains Marcellus' soul. But really, it's intended as a MacGuffin, a prop that moves the plot forward without any explanation. That's it for this video. Until next time, thanks for watching.